So I'm reading a book by an author called Felix Dennis. He has a book called How to Get Rich. And I'll read something from his book, which I think was quite useful. So he says that, this is not necessarily true, but he says in your 20s, you want to, accumulate, you want to find out what your aptitude is, like what you're particularly good at. And he's basically saying by chance, he sold some magazines. And this guy was like, let's say like a bum that like couldn't pay his rent. He found that he has some success selling magazines on the street. So he's like a multi-million British man who started like multiple publishing things. But he basically found out from selling magazines on the street that he had some skill in that potentially he was good at that. And he actually started to publish magazines through that. But it wasn't his dream to like start a publishing company. He wanted to be like an R&B singer initially when he was younger. And he gave up on that dream quite early, mainly also because he needed to like pay his bills. So he found out, basically saying that he stumbled by chance to find out by accident that he was good at selling magazines, or that also led to the potential that he potentially might be good at business. And he's basically saying, which I disagree with because I asked AI a bunch of questions, that in your 30s that you might have a harder time to find out what your aptitude is, what you're particularly good at, because he calls it the surge, in what you're trying to find out what you're good at. But yeah, he's basically saying luck is involved, and I already know from reading Nassim Taleb's work that Nassim Taleb basically says the more extreme your outcome of like being extremely rich, the more likely, the higher probability that luck was involved in achieving that outcome. Because he basically compares like people who are similar intelligence to Bill Gates, and he's basically saying people who are as smart as Bill Gates did not get as rich as him. And he's basically saying, did Bill Gates deserve to get rich? He made a lot of points in his book, Followed by Randomness, that Microsoft's product is not the best product, but lots of people use it. And through network effects, and I think he called it, basically because a lot of people use it, that's why, Microsoft is successful or whatever. But he's basically saying, like Bill Gates had luck on his side to get to his extreme outcome. And Felix Dennis, the author of this book, is basically writing that basically luck is involved. And I already know this, because like I'm thinking, like I was pretty good at school, but like business is not a school game, right? School is not really a game of luck. It's a game of, you could say, like a certain kind of skill. But obviously, being good at school doesn't not mean you'll succeed in life. I did ask, AI as well, but like it's already true. Like the game of business or investing or like trading trading definitely has a lot of luck involved. I mean, investing has more skill. Business has skill too, but I think luck is hugely involved. And anyone that's successful will say, "Oh yeah, they did not get lucky," but it's not true, because I think people's ego is involved. Whoever is like extremely rich and doesn't believe that they got lucky, they'll say like they worked extremely hard. But then there's like countless amount of people in the world that worked extremely hard who did not get rich. So Felix Dennis basically says it's a matter of being in the right place at the right time and grabbing the opportunity, like basically by the balls, right? Like you grab the opportunity when it's there. So he has this quote: "The filthy rich are not gods. They are men or women who put on their underwear in the morning pretty much as you do. It is true that they were in the right place at the right time and did the right thing. The difference is that in some way they place themselves in fate's way, then grasp her by the forelock as she sprinted past. Lady Luck is bold behind," says the old proverb. To put it less fancifully, they were lucky in the search and skillful in the follow-up. Boldness helped, conquering the fear of failure helped, persistence helped, but without some luck, no one can get anywhere in the search to discover the exact arena which to do battle. The arena that suits an individual's aptitudes and inclinations. Yeah, so he's basically saying luck is hugely involved. Without luck, you cannot succeed. Like, it's not something that you can arm to battle. Like, you just have to hope that you get lucky, right? Like that somehow like you have the right skill or talent that places you in the right arena and at the right timing. I think that's the problem. This is, and I think I seem to like basically says in his book that like when people see people succeed or have outlier results, people tend to think it's a stroke of genius. But a lot of the time, people underestimate the role of luck involved in achieving the outcome. So basically, yeah, like people who succeed in trading are not like some sort of genius. They had a stroke of luck. I think it's particularly in trading. I think less in investing, but he said there are some arenas which luck is less involved. But in games that which have more randomness involved and luck, they probably just got a lot of luck on this side, and it's not necessarily skill.